Okay, welcome back to Guitar Science. So today, I'm going to try to wind a pickup. I have no experience winding pickups, but there's a lot of videos about it on the internet, and I got all the supplies, so it's time to try it. So, what's a pickup? Well, in basic, a pickup is a transducer. It takes the mechanical energy of your string, and it transduces that into electrical energy in the form of an alternating current that is your guitar signal. So that's what we want to do. How do we do that? Well, we do it with copper and magnets. Copper coil and magnets. So, magnets we're going to use. Alnico 5 pole pieces. I also have Alnico 2 and Alnico 3. We'll test them all. The wire we're going to use is 42 gauge poly-coated copper wire. It's kind of a standard for modern pickups. It's the cheapest of your wire options. And then we're going to use fiberboard flatwork with eyelets pressed in for the start and end of our coil. And basically, we're going to put the flatwork together with the pole pieces in the middle, and then we're going to wind the copper coil around those magnets in the middle, and that's essentially how your pickup works. All right, so those are the pieces. To make the pickup, we're going to need some tools. So tool number one is a multimeter. We're going to use this to measure the resistance of the coil, which corresponds to the amount of copper in that coil. So, generally the rule of thumb for single coils is, somewhere probably in the area of 5 to 7K ohms as far as resistance goes. So I'm going to aim for that, and, if I'm a little off, we can tweak that in future pickups. So use this to measure that. You also need to make sure that you've magnetized your Alnico pole pieces. So I got these unmagnetized, which means I'm going to have to expose them to a very strong magnetic field to magnetize them, which this will do. So we're going to take our finished pickup when we're done winding it and everything, and we're just going to slide it through here a few times, and that's going to magnetize the Alnico pole pieces because these are very strong neodymium magnets. They're so strong that when you put them on your hand and you wave your hand around, they stay in place. And I have this EMF meter, Gauss meter, to measure the strength of the magnets that I use in the pickup. Apparently, most people on the internet buy this to hunt ghosts. Yeah. So, one more important ingredient, and that's the pickup winder itself. So this is kind of the cheapest produced one that I could find, but it did have good reviews. You can make these. It doesn't seem like it's particularly difficult to make one, but I bought this one instead, and here's why. So I wanted the wind counter to tell me exactly how many winds I have on the pickup. And I wasn't sure that I could put one together that was reliable in terms of wind counter or in terms of consistency of wind, so I could repeat it over and over again. So I wanted something that was easy and consistent and would tell me how many winds I had. So I kind of wanted to just buy one instead of trying to make it myself and adding more pain and time to the process. The goal of this project is to be able to wind pickups that I actually use in my guitars. And if I can do that, then I can sell all the pickups I have and make way more than the cost of this thing. So I figured it was worth it. One final problem that I've encountered so far. When you watch pickup videos on YouTube of people making pickups, they have like a whole jig for assembling the bobbin. They put the bottom flatwork in, they put the pole pieces, they put the top flatwork in, close their little jig, take it to the arbor press it down, you're good to go. Well, I don't have a specialized bobbin jig, I don't have the tools to make such a thing, and I don't have an arbor press. So I'm working at my dining room table in my apartment. So none of those things are going to work for me. So I tried to hammer pole pieces into place. That did not work. That was very frustrating. A lot of cursing. So I decided that in the end, it probably would be easier to just take the ream and ream this out so that the pole pieces fit in here perfectly and are flush, and then just super glue the bottom so that they stay put. All right, it's time to wind the pickup. I'm just going to tape over the magnets in the bobbin because I think that if the insulation on the cable, the wire that is to say, breaks, then I think it will short when it touches the magnet. So the tape is there to prevent that from happening. And I think the tape also introduces additional irregularities in the way that the coil, well, sits on the tape. And I don't know what that's worth, if anything, but who knows? It may lower capacitance or something like that. Who can really tell? But we're gonna try it and we're gonna see. All right, so I've got the tape covering the bobbin. It's not perfect. I wanted to use electrical tape, but I can't find it. But it's covering the bobbin and it's smooth enough that I don't think the wire will break on it and it will not touch the magnets. So I think the next step is probably an infuriating one, and that's to take my copper wire and tie it off through this little eyelet without breaking the wire. Okay, it is not hard at all to break this wire. This is some mighty fine wire. Some mighty fine wire. It's mighty fine. So I'm gonna attempt to tie this off through here. And you can barely see this wire if you're not holding it so it's catching the light, but I think I can do this. I think before we start actually winding it, we should adjust where the guides are so that, you know, the guides line up with the margins on the bobbin here. Otherwise, I think we'd have some trouble. So I'm gonna put the first few windings on by hand. So we're gonna start it up and we see. Oh, okay. Made it 46 turns before I snapped the wire. So I guess that was too much tension. Time for round two. Okay, so we're gonna try again. So at one point, it bounced and it went outside of the bobbin. And so now it's about $8 of copper wire I gotta throw away. So here is the finished pickup. Unfortunately, I didn't record the third winding attempt, but I was successful. And after that, all you really have to do is thread the wiring through the other eyelet and then solder the cloth-coated wires to that, and then wrap the whole thing in tape, and you're done. So in the next video, I'm going to make the other two pickups and learn a few lessons from that. And then we're going to take all three of them and replace the ceramic pickups in one of my strats and see if we can improve it.